What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today we're going to talk about all the new information that was just released, and actually literally at the time of this recording about 5 minutes ago, even more information was released by the official JP Dokkan battle page. So we're going to get into all the information that we know. I translated as much as I possibly could, and we're going to get right into it. So let's do this. So first off, if we go into the news here, we have maintenance coming up from, well, by the time you're watching this, pretty much at that time. But basically, the maintenance is just going to be doing the usual updates and all that stuff. And it looks like we're getting a new version of the app, so we'll have to download the app, which is fine. So it's pretty simple stuff, and that's about it. This is... Oh, okay, so this is all the information about those. Remember that page that I showed you guys probably about a week ago or so with all of the new either rebirths or Dokkan Awakens? We're not really sure which ones. We assume they're all going to be rebirths unless they use Dokkan Fest medals, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are going to be Dokkan Fest, you know, get the Fierce Battle Link and all that. They could still be rebirths. They could be the opposite. We don't simply know. So, but we've got a little bit more information. So essentially, out of these 5 that they're showing off, so Gohan, as we already knew, is getting his awakening. You need these medals here from Gohan. The Agility Bojack is going to be awakening, so you need this Bojack medal to awaken into him. I don't know how they can really save him, because right now, if I remember correctly, it's like at the beginning of the turn, his attack goes up 40%. So 60%, I guess? I mean, unless they make it like 80% and it's also defense or something like that, then hey, he'd be great on an Agility team Extreme. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We don't know anything. They're literally telling us none of the details here. Next is going to be the Strength one. Yes, that one that we've all been getting and we all hate and throw away for Baba points and everything. He's getting his Dokkan Awaken as well. And for some reason, the little minion woman is as well. I have no idea why. Hey, for all I know, though, she could be really good on an Extreme Agility team, too. Hard to say. I don't know. But, yeah. Oh, and then 17 is getting an awakening from the Goku medal, or the Cell medals. And same with 18, the Intel one. So that's pretty cool, actually. They didn't show that in the magazine page, but she is getting an awakening. So that is pretty cool. So I'm all for that. And in terms of when it's supposed to come, still nothing. Nothing that I'm seeing. Oh, I'm sorry. It comes out on the 1st of April from 4 o'clock, it looks like. For these 6 characters, for these 6 characters, the other ones like the Intel Goku, the Physical Goku, and all that stuff, we don't know yet. And some people are even speculating that maybe they made a mistake about the Physical getting the rebirth or getting the Fierce Battle, and the Intel getting the rebirth, and they're supposed to be switched. I honestly have no idea. I haven't seen any magazines that would say that they've made a mistake or anything like that. I would assume on Twitter they would have come out, unless they're only doing it through the magazines, which then we have to wait. That magazine only comes out once a month usually with DBZ news and everything like that, so it's hard to say really. So, but anyway, yeah. So these 6 will be available to Dokkan Awaken on there, mostly because they use the Cell medals or the Gohan medals right now. That little Gohan Bojack story event thing going on right now. So you can at least get those medals if you don't have them right now. Go for them right now. They're pretty easy to get, and then you can Dokkan Awaken them if they or when they come out. So yeah, it's pretty good stuff. All right, and then next we are getting our next Extreme God Lead. So I saw this on Twitter a few times, so I'm just going to start calling them either Super God Leads or Extreme God Leads. I'm not going to call them Neo or anything like that, because, yeah. Anyway, so basically we're getting our next Extreme God Lead, and it is Super 17 from GT, and it is going to be an Extreme Agility type. Yeah, we all thought maybe he'd be Intel. I guess not, but yeah. Anyway, so the way the event works, they gave us the details of the event, which is pretty nice. So it kind of gives us a little bit of some insight in what kind of teams to bring and everything, essentially. But basically, you're going to have the usual Z-Hard Super 2 difficulties. You're going to fight Super 17. If you bring Android 18 will deal extra damage to 17. Okay, so I'm assuming that's any of the 18s, essentially. Of course, if he's Agility, there's no Tech 6 or 18, is there? Not that I know of. Let me know in the comments below if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a Tech 18. There's a Physical one. There's a Strength. There's an Agility. There's an Intel. I don't think there's a Tech one. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so that's going to be happening then. And then the way it works essentially is that if you translate all of this in here, essentially what it's, and I'll show you down here on this picture as well, but essentially the way it works is that Z-Hard and Super 2 both end at the same stage. There's only 3 stages of fighting Super 17, so I guess the only difference will be that you just get more medals. I'm not really sure, or maybe you fight him with extra life bars on Super 2, and that confiscates for the extra medals. I really don't know. It doesn't really say in the Japanese currently written here. But then it really starts talking about how to fight this guy. So essentially what's going to be happening is that let's see. Yeah, so he's got a barrier, as you already know. If you don't know who Super 17 is, essentially he could absorb all Ki Blast attack. Anytime someone fired a Ki Blast at him, he'd absorb it, he gets stronger. If he got punched, though, he couldn't absorb that, and he took damage and everything. So the way it's looking is essentially is that if you use Ki Blast, if we've translated this correctly, essentially, every time Ki Blast, like a super, so it states here, if you use a super that is a Ki Blast, essentially, then he will absorb that. Now, the one thing we don't know, because it says HP Kaishu, but the thing we don't know is it absolutely all of it? Is it only a certain percent? Is it going to be a significant amount? I hope it's personally a significant amount, and maybe if you fire, like, let's say Goku's 10 times Kamehameha hot him or something like that, then, you know, you do the same amount of damage as the days back when Ultimate Gohan first came out, and unless you had Boo, you were doing literally no damage to him at all. So, you know, maybe it's going to be something like that. That would be pretty cool, actually. But they do say that if you use someone who has a physical hit super, so the reason that, so they're showing Goku here in his, you know, the new Angel one that we just got, and essentially it's gonna be either if you use a physical attack in your super, and then if you even blast them, because as we all know, you take someone like 18 and 17, they always have the double combo where they hit you a bunch of times, then they fire the Ki Blast at you. Goku, as we already know from this, he kicks you, he throws you into the ground, and then he fires the big blast at you. So anyone who has those type of supers seems to be able to hurt 17 normally, and that will be okay. Someone like Cooler, for example, will be able to do it just fine. In fact, if you bring the Tech Cooler that got the Awakening from the Cooler event and everything, you bring him, and you put him onto a tech team, because you are fighting an agility version of Super 17, then you're going to be able to do some heavy damage to him, which is pretty nice. So, and then it tells us the stages that we'll be fighting in. So we'll be fighting a extreme agility, tech, intel, and physical. Okay, I'm assuming that's going to be the lineup of the usual 4 androids, 16, 17, 18, and Dr. Gero probably would be my guess. Then the second stage is agility and intel. This is fighting the 217s, and I'll get into that in a little bit because some new information was literally just released for this. And then the final one is going to be Super 17 himself, the big bad boss. You got to fight him off, and then it states right here that Z Hard and Super end on stage 3, no matter what. There's no stage 4. Unlike the past, either Super God leads or the extreme God leads like Cooler or Super Saiyan 4 and stuff, there was 4 stages instead of 3, essentially, okay? But that's not the case here. It's going to be 3 no matter what. I'm assuming more life bars and everything, and that's about it. So other than that, that's all we really know. It comes with the next update. It says, Sugi no update to. And yeah, the events, a lot of us are assuming it's going to be on April 1st. There's even a little bit of like rumors, and you know, I've been talking with some of the guys that I know, thinking like, oh, maybe it's an April Fool's joke and it's not going to be agility, but that's not really the case actually, you know, because a lot of people don't really like the Super 17 saga. Super 17 was really the only decent thing that a lot of people liked from it, especially over here in Japan, how GT gets smashed on a bunch of times, but even in the West, I think 17 was like the thing that stands out the most from that. Other than that, the arc itself was kind of lackluster and everything. So yeah, well, I know we'll have to see exactly what happens. I really don't have any personal say in the matter. I thought at the time when I was a kid, hey, cool, I guess, but it definitely was really short, and I was like, okay, I guess we're just gonna move on to the Shadow Dragons next. But yeah, so that is basically, from what we can translate, that's what it's gonna be. So it should be really interesting. I really hope this isn't, you know, some fluff thing where it's like, oh yeah, he absorbs it, and it turns out to be like, oh, you can actually still one-shot him half the time or do this or something. I truly want them to start making these, you know, a little bit more difficult, at least on the Super 2 difficulty. You know, Z Hard, keep it the way it is, if that's fine, because I know not everyone has these cards and everything. But for those of us who do, you know, a little bit more of a challenge would be nice. I mean, why not? So have different difficulties for everyone depending on the cards and everything. It makes total sense to me. So at first, when I was gonna make this video, I was like, okay, that's all I have to talk about. You know, I'm 9 minutes into the video, I'm done. Not so fast, not so fast. We actually just got a bunch of information on the JP Dokkan official page. Yeah, take a look at this. Just gonna let it run through for you guys real quick. Whoever created one-time speed, get rid of it. I have to admit, it looks really cool, the animation. I have to admit, that looks really cool. So yeah. So that is the new super animation for 17, and we got the card, the new extreme type. So sorry if I keep obviously looking over again. I want to make sure this doesn't randomly go, because I have to zoom in and everything and show you guys all the card details, because I was able to translate it right away. So basically the way it works is that he is the exact opposite of Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. He gives extreme agility, ki +3, HP attack and defense up 20%, and then to super types he gives a ki +1, HP attack and defense up 50%. Just like we expected, the cooler, Super Saiyan 4, the whole 9 yards, we already knew that, okay? His super attack is, well, the big energy ball that you saw essentially, and he does immense damage and he greatly lowers defense. Okay, again, nothing special. And then we get into his passive skill, and then his links are actually pretty good. He's got like shocking speed and everything, GT, fierce battle, fusion. Oh, he's got fusion. Okay, he's got fusion link, so he'll definitely link with like Rose and everything. Or no, sorry, he will not link with Rose. My bad. But yeah, he's got that fusion link. So if you bring super, if you have to, you know, I'm assuming someone like Super Vegito, maybe if you can't, maybe depending on what card you have, if you can't fill that 6th slot, Super Vegito can come in here, Fusion Link, that works pretty well, so nonetheless. But anyway, I'll get into teams and stuff in a second here. So the way his passive work essentially is that he reduces damage by 40% when you're getting attacked, and for every time, if I double check this, I'm pretty sure, but every time he is attacked, his attack goes up 30%, okay? His attack goes up 30%, and it can go for a total of, it can max out essentially at 120% extra damage. So essentially, if you have someone attacking in, you know, at one spot, like we all have encountered before in events and everything, place 17 in there, he gets attacked the whole time, his attack is going to go up 120%. And then, you know, but of course, the one thing I don't really, I'm guessing at least, is that, say, if you get attacked twice before attacking and twice after, then your attack's gonna go up to, say 60%, and then another 60%, which is obviously the 120. I don't know if that carries over to the next one. Like, this is gonna require testing. It doesn't necessarily say. I would assume yes, but at the same time, I can also assume no. I'm not really sure. Like I said, this literally just dropped, and I don't have the card, so, you know, obviously I can't really go for it. So, other than that, his links seem to be pretty standard. And nothing else. Yeah, okay. So that's about it. Nothing special if you get his SA up to 10. He's got pretty basic stats for what we'd expect from a card like this. And yeah, so I guess, I mean, it's a little, he's not exactly like, actually, the more and more I think about this now, I'm going to assume that it'll carry up to 120% through the battle. So let's say you start the battle off, and you get hit a bunch of times, maybe twice or something like that, your attack goes up 60%, I think it does carry over through the rest of its rounds. And it probably resets if you go on to a next stage or something like that, but it probably does that. And the reason I say that is because all the rest of these leads that we've been getting, the extreme god leads and the super god leads essentially, they have all gotten 120%, 100%, 150% attack up, defense up, whatever it is. But 17 here is the first one that doesn't get that. But if you get hit enough times, it will eventually get there to the fact of he's basically going to, you know, base damage-wise, I'm assuming numbers and everything are going to make a huge difference here. I could be completely wrong. But at face value, he is going to be doing the same damage as Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, because it's both 120% up. Of course, links and everything, numbers have to be calculated and everything. But just at face value, just seeing, oh, 120%, it's the same as Vegeta, okay? That you cannot dispute, okay? So that is basically Super 17 right there. Nothing. So basically, yeah. So then next, we are getting a new Agility Super 17, and this guy is actually going to replace someone I thought you'd put on the team, but nope, apparently not. So if y'all remember Salza from the Cooler event, he got his Awakening. His passive would have been really, really handy on Extreme Agility team, because it was Ki +2, attack and defense up 20%, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 20%. But now with this new Future 17 here, we don't need him actually. This guy does that and more, plus he's stronger. So he's actually not a bad lead if you happen to need him for a lead or anything like that. But he gives, so his leader skill is Agility and Intel, Ki +3, HP attack and defense up 30%. He then greatly lowers defense as well. And he has the absorbing thing, it looks, or he's got that little blast thing next to him. So I don't know if he absorbs technically. I don't think so, but it's hard to say. And then his passive is Tech and Intel, or sorry, agility and intel, agility and intel, key +2, attack and defense up 25%. That's an extra 5% over Salazar, plus he has fierce battle, which I don't know if Salazar does. I don't remember. I don't think he does. He might actually. I don't know. Correct me down in the comments if I'm wrong. But one thing I noticed is that this guy does not have shocking speed. He's got the usual Android links and everything, but he doesn't have GT for some reason. That was interesting, because isn't he from GT? Yeah, last I checked he was at least. But yeah, so he is a new agility. He's a new extreme agility card. Yeah, extreme agility card. So you'll definitely want him as support. Remember, support guys are really powerful. They really help boost the bigger guys, and they can do a ton of damage. And that's about it that I can see. Nothing special for the super. Yeah, okay, so that's about all. So he's a great support unit, great support. You pull him, keep him, do not sell him. He is great. Next is a new Intel 17. Yeah, we're going to have a ton of 17s. He gets a Dokkan Awaken as well. So his leader skill is all Intel and physical. Key +3, HP attack and defense up 30%. And he has a rare chance to stun when attacking. He's extreme Intel, which makes me think that maybe they're trying to set up also for the next one who's going to be extreme Intel leader, would be my guess. But hey, I have no idea. His passive is kind of average, I guess. It's when facing one enemy, tech he got. But yeah, face one enemy, you get key +2, attack up 90%, which is pretty nice. So not bad by any means. He'll definitely be good on extreme Intel team whenever that leader comes out. So that'll be pretty nice. And that's about it. He's got shocking speed, he's got GT, fierce battle, Android links the whole 9 yards, and that's pretty much it. So that is it on the 17. Is that it? Yes. Okay, that was the Bulma thing that we've known about for a while. So yeah, so that is everything there. So let's go back over to the game. And now my thoughts on what a good extreme agility team could be. Now, keep in mind, I don't have nearly enough of these cards, and I'm definitely missing some good ones, but I can give you basically a kind of a very basic, yes, you can see my extreme ones are pretty lackluster right now, but nonetheless. So, the kind of a team that I think would be probably pretty good is that if you have a double 17 lead, obviously, you'd want to throw the LR androids in there because they've got those android links and shocking speed, which is going to link up really well and try to get them up to that second super attack. And they debuff the LR androids, so that's pretty nice. It could be doing some pretty good damage, possibly, especially with their passive. They're not going to be the hardest LR hitters by any means, but nonetheless, it could definitely do some good damage under this new agility extreme guy. Next, you're obviously going to want to throw Rose in there. Rose is going to be a beast as always. If he can sustain on a heroes team, he can definitely do very well on a mono extreme agility team. So he's going to be very well. Not to mention he's got, big, that's one thing I noticed. I don't think Super 17 has big bad bosses. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah. All right. Enough stuff on that one. But yeah, so Rose will supply everyone else with key as long as they're all extreme, which is really nice. So more people are getting their supers off, which is really nice. So that's 3 technically that I've named off. 4 is going to be that new Super Saiyan, or not Super Saiyan, 17, the extreme agility one that I showed you guys on their Twitter page real quick. That's going to be a very good support staple unit. You're definitely going to want him. He's kind of the Tech Vegito with -5% essentially. But he also provides key though, which Tech Vegito doesn't. So that is very nice to have there. Another one you're going to want is the World Tournament Cooler. If you have him, he is a staple in this kind of team. He gives attack and defense up to all agility types 30%. Yes, attack and defense up 30% from that agility cooler. That is going to be beast combined with this new leader. And if you happen to have him, the agility cooler, and say the 17 as well. So if you have the new Super 17, the extreme evil 17, and then the cooler right next to each other, oh, those guys are gonna, the links in the attack and defense are gonna go up like no tomorrow. You're gonna be doing some major damage, especially if your Super 17 has been hit a few times, and if I am correct on the ability carrying over, it will work out just fine. So yeah, that should work out pretty well. So that's gonna be 4 characters I've named out so far: Super 17, androids, Rose, cooler, and the new one, so that's 5. So then your last one is almost kind of a floater. If you wanted to, you could put in Agility Frieza to tank. You could also put in this Agility Turtles, who goes ape. He's not bad by any means. Plus, he's got big bad bosses, so he can link with Rose and everything. I don't know how good this Bojack is going to turn out to be. I held on to him. I'm assuming he's going to greatly lower defense when he Dokkan Awakens, but like I said, his passive is simply attack up 40% at the beginning of the turn. That could turn to maybe 60 or 70% attack and defense, maybe for both attack and defense. But as we've seen with Tech Vegeta, it's not really that impressive actually. In fact, I've taken him off my team, and until I get a better support unit, I've been putting the masked Bardock on there because he can actually somewhat hit decently hard because of his passive, unless you're facing against more than 2 people. So that is kind of where I am with that. So by no means the best team by any means. So I might be missing a couple of agility guys, but off the top of my head, those are the best ones. If you wanted to put in Salza, that's even more support right there. So as long as you're getting 17 on a rotation every single time, all those attack and defense boosts from those 3 supporter units, they're going to be amazing. Plus, we really don't know how hard the new agility 17 is going to hit. It could be pretty good. So who knows? We'll have to see. I'm assuming decently. I mean, he gets up to 120. He's a TUR, so why not? So yeah. So other than that, that's about all that we know. By the time I'm finished making this video, I could hit stop recording. The next thing you know, it's like, oh hey, look, more information was released. But you know what? you guys, I'll leave the Twitter link down in the description below as always for you guys, so you can check that out. Make sure you subscribe to my Twitter or follow me on Twitter as well. I'm always updating on that stuff. Like today when we got the 17 event, I translated it all real quick and then I posted it on there. And now, of course, we have more information, which I just translated for you. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Sorry for being a little long. Again, I had to go over all the information, the videos, the whole 9 yards. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you are new. It really does help as well if you like this content, of course. And if you liked it even more, leave a like because it always is nice. And leave your comments down below though. Are you going to be pulling for him? Because the one thing we still don't know though is, are we going to be getting this? We're going to be getting this probably on the 1st of April, unless they April Fools us and make it on the 2nd or something like that. But we don't know when we're going to be getting those story missions to get those free stones. There's been some rumors that maybe it's near the end of April. It could be at the beginning, it could be at the same time. Who knows? I really don't know. Nothing's been released, nothing's been confirmed. DBZ Space can say that all they want, but when we had the dupe system, potential system, ability system for global said it was going to release like 2 days ago, and it kept getting pushed back and everything. So DBZ Space is great and everything, but I'm going to hold off until I see an official date, and then we'll go from there. So yeah. So anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this new Super 17 from the GT Saga that we know, and he is a new extreme agility lead. Are you going to pull for him? Are you going to wait for him? I don't know, honestly. And I know I said that about Cooler and everything, but especially my support units. Like, I could have 17, which is great, but if I don't have the support units for him, I might not go for him. Plus, I went pretty hard for the last 2 ones, so I kind of need to take a step back from that. I'll use the free stones if we get them at the same time. If not, I'll simply save them and wait for the next one. And yeah, that's going to be about it. So yeah. Anyway, guys, again, sorry for rambling at the end, but hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave your likes and comments and subscribe if you are new. And until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next one.